head football coach, John Walsh. Coach, welcome back into Rattler Up.
It's good. Talk about some programs.
All right, let's talk. Lots of stuff to cover today. We're excited. And so how was your weekend? First of all, let's make sure you're in a good state of mind for tonight.
Yeah, after a loss, it's never too great, but
right.
I'm there now. I'm there now.
Well, as predicted, no quarterback controversy in Dallas. So Dak took us to where we needed to be. So your good. Sunday was probably at least pretty good, right? Well, this week on Rattler Up, we get our mid-season report. We're going to look back at those first 3 games of the district play and look ahead to the remaining games with New Braunfels and East Central, plus 2 special guests in studio live with us this week as we have members of the San Marcos High School Diamond Line along with their director, Michelle Knight, and members of the San Marcos High School Strattlers with their teacher, Kathy Stoughton. Now, Coach, we've talked about the incredible impact Diamond Line has on a Friday night, but the Strattlers is a new program. We're excited to have them on and tell the folks about a program they're probably not familiar with right now.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it until Coach Stoughton brought it to us, and it's a great program. They've gotten to travel with us. They've been at the church with us for a few pregame meals, so it's exciting, and I like the direction it's going.
Well, it feeds into what we've talked about on the show so many times, the amount of students involved in a Friday Night Lights production, right? It is not the players on the field only, right? Band, Diamond Line, and we're growing that. Hundreds and hundreds of students representing Rattler Nation every Friday night, so you got to come out and be a part of it. Well, let's get started by taking a look at our midseason report. As we have completed 3 games in our district football schedule, we have 2 remaining, and we're going to take a look back and see where we've been so we can get ready for later in the show. We'll take a look at where we're headed. So 3 weeks, 3 games, and we know that what we face ahead is the final stretch of the regular season. And so we look back, we head to October 7th as the Rattlers got the district schedule started at home against the Clemens Buffaloes. Clemens got out to a little bit of a lead early, but the Rattlers got back on track, took control of the game, getting the 28-24 victory to start the year right. So, Coach, it's been a couple of weeks, but looking back on that Clemens game, what was so important about getting off on the right foot for the district schedule?
Yeah, so we're only in a 16 district, so you play 5 games, which means it's a fast race.
Right.
And 4 qualify for the tournament. So in our district's tough. We knew it was tough from top to bottom, and we knew this opener. You got to be careful as a coach, and you don't tell them put all your eggs in one basket. And this one was a must-win for us, and we didn't make no bones about it. I know it was just week 1, but we told them we have to get this game in order for us to have a chance to get in the tournament. And it was a great game. They're a good team, and our kids responded. It just not just only does it put us in good shape to control our own destiny, but looking at there's a website that's got the history of San Marcos football. Every school, and we've never San Marcos has never beat Church Clements in a football game, varsity football game. So
that's awesome.
That was good just to get a little history, and then just to be 1-0 in district, knowing a game we had to win.
Right, and like you said, you don't want to put that pressure on the kids, but like you said, 5-game schedule, there's no time to dig yourself out of a hole. So
that's what I told them. I said, I don't want to. They know I'm an honest guy, so I was shooting them straight, and they responded.
Right. Well, then we go to 2 weeks ago to week 2. The Rattlers got to remain at San Marcos Toyota Rattler Stadium as the state-ranked and district favorite Steel Knights came to town. Now, this one we knew would be a struggle against such a powerful team, and the Rattlers fought for 4 quarters. They ultimately made a solid showing. They do take the loss, 49-14, but kind of similar here. What's the message to players going into a game like that? We're going to try to win every game. We're going to put everything in, but we know who we're facing.
Right.
What was the messaging like going into that Steel game?
So that message was we are the underdogs. There's no question of that. But we wanted to make sure that we were a better football team when we came out of it. And as that game progressed, I was really pleased with our physicality. We didn't get pushed around on either side of the ball. It was 35-14, and we were going in to score to make it 35-21 in the middle of the third. So we had a chance to make it a two-score game against the number 18 that we were complete underdogs to. So I was pleased with our upfront play, but we still made mistakes in the penalty count and turnovers that got us behind.
Right, and as you said, I think you feel like you're coming out of that game better than you did you started the game, right?
Absolutely.
So you find a way to have that improvement and build up that momentum.
No doubt.
So that brings us to this past week. The Rattlers hit the road for the first time in district play, heading into Converse to take on the Judson Rockets. And it was a tighter game than the final 55-35 score may have indicated, as this game was actually, and credit to the San Marcos Daily Record for this breakdown, it was tied at 7 apiece after 1. And the Rattlers actually outscored the Rockets in the second half, 28-21. Yep. But a rough second quarter dug a hole that we just really couldn't crawl out of, despite fighting to that very last play. And yeah, the Rockets get that 55-35 victory. So, Coach, you spoke to reporters about those second quarter issues. 3 turnovers in that quarter. How do you feel that second quarter got away from the team?
Yeah, just that. I mean, the first quarter win, we got them off the field playing good defense. We knew we'd get the ball. We knew we could move the ball on them. They got tremendous speed, but we knew we matched up better up front. And then the second quarter, when you just turn it over like we did that second quarter and dig that hole against a team like Commerce Judson, it's a hard hill to climb. And I just told our kids, you got to learn to get. By the time we get to the tournament, the playoffs, you got to know situational football, and you cannot just internally combust like we did. And it was really not the whole quarter. It was about a 6-minute wave.
Right, there was just that stretch in the middle.
It was a 6-minute wave of disaster. Mm-hmm. And at halftime, there was no panic, and I was really pleased the second half. Like you said, we outscored them 28-21. And that lead, we felt like we still had a chance at the end of that third quarter to make it a ball game, but they made some big plays, some explosive plays on fourth down.
Right. Well, and I think the halftime and that second half performance speaks volumes to just the level of class and professionalism that our team shows.
Right.
They're never out of it. We've talked before about, for years now, that's been the highlight of San Marcos football. That we're in it till the very end. We play 4 quarters of football, and I think that's exactly what was seen there against Judson that night.
Yeah, no doubt. They know that I don't care what our record is before we get to the playoffs. It's just once we get in, make sure we're the best version of ourselves to advance.
Right. And we're going to take a look in a little bit there toward the end of the show. We're going to take a look at what's left. We've got a game at home against New Braunfels, and we finished the year on the road against East Central. We'll take a look at that here in a little bit as we prepare to make our playoff run. But that all leads us to those final 2 games, and we'll talk about that. But when we return from this break, we will be joined live in studio by members of the amazing Diamond Line dance team and their director, Rattler alum Michelle Knight. All that and more when we return. Keep it here on Rattler Up. Welcome back to Rattler Up, live from the San Marcos High School Rattler broadcast studio. We are here Monday nights at 6 o'clock. You can catch us live or catch all the archive shows on the VYPE YouTube channel. Just search VYPE, VYPE, on YouTube and watch any episode from any season of Rattler Up. And now we are excited to welcome in members of the award-winning dance team at San Marcos High School. Everyone knows them. They know the uniform. They know the tradition. It is the San Marcos High School Diamond Line. And along with them, their director, Miss Michelle Knight. Michelle and ladies, thank you for joining us here on Rattler Up tonight. All right, Michelle, we're going to talk to the girls in just a minute, but grab you a mic. We want to start with you. Now, we know that you've been on Rattler Up before in season 1, so we know we also have some new viewers, and we want to make sure they know a lot about who puts this together. So for those new viewers, share with us a little bit about your journey to this incredible Diamond Line crew, starting with your time as a student at San Marcos High School.
Well, I'm a graduate of San Marcos High School, proudly so, back way in the day. And I was on Diamond Line myself, and it's just a dream to come back and work at your school, and especially work with ladies who have the same vision and dream that you do. So I bleed purple in every sense of the word, and I love to be at San Marcos High School, and they make my job really easy.
No, they do. Well, let me ask you this. What has been a highlight for you so far for your team this year?
I think just the friendship that my team has. I always talk about it's about the bonds and the friendship that we have first before it is about dancing. So for me, it's just their friendship shows on the floor and off the floor, and that's what makes us so great.
Awesome, awesome. Well, let's meet the girls. So you've got the mic. You could just pass it along there. Let's start with each of you. Introduce yourself. Give everybody your name, what grade you're in, and what exactly your role is in the Diamond Line.
My name is Sophia. I'm a senior, and I'm captain.
I'm Maddie. I'm a senior, and I'm a senior lieutenant.
I'm Eva. I'm a junior, and I'm the junior lieutenant.
I'm Lexi. I'm a senior, and I'm first lieutenant.
All right. Well, we'll start down there and work our way back. Talk to me about how long you've been dancing, all life, not just Diamond Line. And what attracted you? What made you each want to be a part of the Diamond Line?
I started dancing in 7th grade, so almost 6 years now. I remember my first, I think it was contest preview, seeing Diamond Line, and I was just amazed. I remember watching a Disney dance, and I was just like, wow, they are so good. I want to be a part of that team. And Miss Knight always says Diamond Line is like Mickey Mouse. And I just remember I want to be in that uniform. I want to be a part of it. And we are just a big, happy family, just sharing our passion together.
Awesome.
So I started dancing when I was 3, so I guess it's been a while.
And interestingly enough, she started with my daughter, and we have footage. I've actually brought up some 3-year-old. No, we don't. We do not have footage. Sorry.
But yeah, so I started pretty young. Dance was always a passion of mine, and since both of my parents worked in the district, I always wanted to be on Diamond Line. I knew that it was just the dream to be there, wear the uniform, be with all those other girls, and to be where I am now.
All right. Maddie, how about you?
I've been dancing since 7th grade like Lexi, so almost 6 years. And I got invited by a family friend to go to one of Diamond Line's showcases when I was like in 3rd grade. And from then I was like, I'm doing that. So it was just like one of those things that I was like, that's what I want to do in high school. So.
All right.
I've been dancing probably since I was 4 or 5, so definitely over 10 years. And almost the same thing. I was watching Diamond Line since I was young. I went to junior camp. I have just been looking up to Diamond Line for so long. So, yeah.
I think the common thread here is that, growing up in San Marcos, you see it every Friday nights when you go. You see the uniform. We speak to the uniform. Those watching know exactly what we're talking about. That's just a draw that catches you from a long, long time, right? A lot of guys are watching those purple helmets and wanting to be a part of it that way. You're watching those cowboy hats. Forgive me if they're not called that. I'm sure I've gotten that wrong. But well, why don't we go to the captain? So, Captain, tell the folks about Coach Walsh and I have talked on the show many times about the incredible amount of time and effort that you ladies put together to make your Friday night stuff, plus all the stuff you do in the fall and in the spring. So, tell us a little bit about just kind of a standard Monday through Friday for the Diamond Line.
Well, right now, since we're in football season, we have about 2 hours or 2 to 3 every single day, except for Fridays, which of course are game days. When I'm filling out my college application forms, they ask how many hours I put into each activity. And for Timeline, I was like...
All of them?
Oh, yeah. I think I put like around 18, because right now it's not that bad, but once contest season starts, we're spending a lot of time in the studio.
Well, the precision with which you move as a unit is fascinating to me. The ability, I think the same thing kind of happens in sports where you have a unit of 11 people, 50 people, whatever it is, literally all doing the same exact thing at the same exact time. That absolutely blows me away. And if you've been here on a Friday night, no one does it better than these girls. So why don't we have, Maddie, why don't you speak to us about how do you make the magic happen? How do you get every one of these girls kicking and moving at exactly and precisely the same time to make that beautiful art that you create each Friday night?
Well, you're asking the wrong person. You got to be asking Miss Knight. She has the formula down. It's all her. She cleans us. It takes hours during contest season. We're lucky if we get through like 3 8 counts of practice of cleaning. Like, we're spending hours upon hours on every motion just to make us look like so clean and so good.
So now I think as we talked about growing up, little kids see Diamond Line on Friday nights. That's what they want to do. It is the contest season that probably kind of remains a little bit of a mystery for folks until they get into it. Eva, why don't you share with us, just for people that don't know, when football season's over, we head into contest season. What does that mean?
Yeah, so contest season definitely just means more hours. Instead of spending the hours on Friday football games, you're here, maybe 12 hours on a Saturday cleaning all day. And it definitely gets more intense because the kind of dancing we're doing is much more intense on our bodies, and the amount of time we're practicing is much more intense as well. So it comes with, risks, with injuries and all, but it's definitely worth it to hold those titles and spend all those hours here and then polishing a product to be absolutely perfect on the state floor.
And so, Miss Knight, so several times over the last several, many years, but over these last couple, we've had the opportunity to be featured in some really cool places. Can you speak to some of the places that we've been able to take this product and demonstrate to the world here in the last couple of years?
Yeah, so most recently we were featured in Dallas in the Dallas Holiday Children's Parade, and that was a special invite only. That was last Christmas, and we were on TV. It was a big deal for this community and a big deal for them, and it's something that we talk about every day. Also, last year, based on our performance, we were invited to attend a nationals competition, and that was a huge honor as well.
Right, so they're getting this opportunity to do this work, to gain this friendship, to travel the country. It's really cool. Let me go to each of you. We'll start down here on the end and work our way back. What do you feel is the most important thing for you that you've gotten out of being a member of the Diamond Line?
I feel like I've not only been able to share my passion for dance, but create friendships with these amazing girls. We just all share this amazing bond, and just being able to laugh and work with each other every day through the grit and pushing through all the hard times and all the long hours. We all feel the same. We all go through it together, and it's like we're not alone in this process.
Awesome. Same question.
That's a big part of it, but for me, I feel like I got a lot of time management out of it, and well, I guess just time management, because you're spending so many hours here, you have to work everything else around that. And the work ethic that it gives you to figure out how you're gonna, do school and how you're gonna be a part of other activities too is really, really difficult.
Awesome.
I think even not being an officer or anything, like leading my team and in whatever way, whether it's motivation or just being there for people, I feel like that is what I've gained the most out of this experience.
Awesome.
Miss Knight doesn't just teach us how to be better dancers, she teaches us how to be better people. So I've grown really responsible over the years. So just with our field uniform, we have our gauntlets, our hat, our belt string, our belt, the leotard, the scarf, the everything. And so we have to keep track of so much stuff, and not only that, choreography and stuff like that too. So I've learned how to be responsible, take initiative, be a leader. So just so much that I can't even name.
Awesome.
I'm just listening to them talk about all the time they've put in just for their shows and their practices and Friday nights, and I see it all. But what people don't see is this group, and I've been here for 3 years, and it's been this way since I got in here. What they don't talk about is their leaders on our campus, and they're
absolutely.
If you think of our convocation, they're there. If you think of any kind of special events, they're there, and they're not there just to look pretty, which they are, but they're there to. They're doing things. They serve our community. They serve our school district in an ambassadorship way. So it's they're pretty phenomenal.
Absolutely. New teachers arrive to campus.
Oh, yeah.
They're welcomed by the Diamond Line.
They're always there.
Absolutely. So you take those things that you've learned for your futures. I think people would like to know about those futures. So what are we thinking about doing as we leave high school? And I'll start with whoever wants to start. But all four of you have to go.
Dance.
I've started applications for a lot of places. I really don't know where I'm going to end up, but I am looking at majoring in statistics, which is going to be featured next. So I'm going to
promoing later in the show. Girl's got a future. I like this.
I just want to do statistics, maybe research, work for a company, something like that, work towards my PhD later.
Awesome.
So currently I'm in the EMT program here, so I'm wanting to use that and work throughout college while getting my respiratory therapy degree and a bachelor's, and then moving to get my emergency medicine physician's assistant's master's. So
awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking at a similar path as Maddie. I'm in the CNA program this year, and I'll be in the EMT program next year. So really
Thank
what
God
I'm
for
trying to
CT, right? I'm just saying. Just saying.
It's in the magazine.
Really what I'm trying to work towards is figuring out whether I want to go more of a nursing path or more of a doctor path, but I'm not really sure about that yet.
Okay.
Now, I am different from these girls. They got their life planned out. I do not, on the other hand. I do plan to go to college, but I have had a lot of passions in my life, including dance. So I will see if I can continue pursuing this passion of mine. But on the other hand, I am interested in a lot of the arts and also maybe criminology, forensic science. I grew up around criminology with both my parents being police officers.
Okay.
So I grew up loving and learning about it. So that might be an interest in my future.
Okay, awesome. Well, and you've got plenty of time, don't you worry. Well, there's an unsung kind of all-star to the Diamond Line, and I don't know if I'll be able to get her on here, but Brooklyn is in studio with us, and she's shaking her head no at me. I'll turn the camera on you, girl. Can you come up and just say hi real quick? Would you be willing? We are live on television. You got to come up and say hi real quick. When you talk about the hours, this girl is putting in the same hours just about as everybody else. Brooklyn, star 5th grader at Bowie Elementary, and I wanted to make sure she got featured. Okay, you can duck out now if you don't want to be here any longer. I got you. All right, so we always give the kids a chance to send some shout-outs. So you got live television and a live mic with enough of a delay to catch anything you might say you shouldn't have. Who do you want to shout out tonight?
I would like to shout out to my mother because I can't say this on live radio, but she has this wonderful chant that keeps us going. And, you know, it just really pushes us. And I love to say it at practice. And she's just the most hilarious, funny person. She is our loudest fan, let me tell you. You can hear her across the gym, awesome. Probably across the school, but she is definitely our #1 fan. Love you, Mama Jerry. Thank you for everything you do.
All right.
So I would like to shout out my dad, who is in the back of the studio.
Who's on the other side of the camera right now. How you doing, Mr. Moore?
Yep, he spends probably almost as many hours here as I do, working to bring you shows like this. So, yeah.
My shout out goes to Miss Knight because she's awesome and she does everything for us and we love her.
Shout out to my team because we would not have a job if it was not for y'all.
All right. Well, Diamond, thank you guys for being here. We can't thank you enough for being on the show. We're excited to see you each Friday night. And, of course, with contest season, make sure to follow on Twitter and a variety of other pathways if you want to see more from the Diamond Line. So thank you guys for being here, and good luck on the rest of your year.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we've got more special guests coming up after the break, but when we return, we'll take a look at an all-new group of students at football games this year, the San Marcos High School Strattlers. And if you haven't heard of them, that's okay. We're going to meet them explain right here on Rattler Up. But while we wait and while the Strattlers come in, we're going to take a look at the all-new VYPE magazine. We got our copy here, Coach, so check this out. We've got our all-new VYPE magazine. This is going to be available online and an email to all parents in the district coming up this week. We're going to, just take a look at some of the stuff in this magazine. Some great feature articles on some of our athletes, some of our Diamond Line, all the people that make things happen here at San Marcos High School. This magazine will be available in physical form at all our campuses throughout the district coming up soon. Like I said, an email copy to all parents coming up this week. And so we are just excited this further collaboration with VYPE magazine to see what we're going to do and show off what is these amazing things going on at San Marcos High School. Coach, tell us about how this magazine came to be.
Yeah, so the idea, ironically, was from Trustee Miguel Redondo. He had an initiative from the school board to find ways, and challenged us to find ways to showcase the wonderful programs we got, not just athletics, fine arts. You heard all the CTE programs tonight. And we had this idea to do this athletic magazine already, so we just included everybody. And
right.
I think it came out great. We're going to do 2 magazines, one this semester, one next semester, and hopefully everybody's represented, and we can include just clubs. It's for our elementary, our little Rattlers, so they can look up and see these kiddos on this podcast or in this magazine, and we want them to be like them. So you got to show it to them. So we're showing
Absolutely.
them.
So again, here's the cover for this fall edition. You're going to get that in your emails this week. You're going to have hard copies at all the campuses, so be looking for the Rattler Up magazine. But back here on Rattler Up with Coach Walsh, we are joined live in studio by Coach Kathy Stoughton and her San Marcos High School Strattlers. And so this is a group of people I don't think most of us knew are going on, right? And so we're going to start with Coach Stoughton. Now, Miss Coach Stoughton, you know that most of us know you as the head softball coach, of course, but tell us about what you do for San Marcos High School other than lead highly successful softball programs.
Well,
It's on, I think.
like Miss Knight, I'm a graduate of San Marcos High School, and she was a member of the Diamond Line. I was also a member of the UIL math academic team when I was here. So I got the opportunity to teach AP Statistics this year, which is an amazing group of students. And back in 2014, Ray Holland started a group called the Strattlers, and they started doing some football games. They would go out to the soccer games, the basketball games, and they would analyze shot percentage, like what was the shot efficiency with certain numbers of passes. They would look at tennis shots. They would look at baseball strike zone percentage, et cetera. And I thought that would be a cool idea to kind of revive that. So when I got the opportunity to teach statistics this year, being an athletically minded person, I thought that would be a perfect marriage there to be able to bring that back.
Absolutely. I think students are all the time, the age-old question, why do I have to learn this, right? You are showing the direct application to why they're learning this. Am I correct?
Yes, we're trying to show a lot of ways that statistics can be used, because the general consensus on statistics is that it's just number crunching, boring number crunching. So we're trying to broaden their horizons. We're actually going to get to go to a marketing firm and shadow data divers, and they're going to show us how they use statistics to analyze how they put advertisements on Facebook, how they draw out of Google. We're going to look at going to a Spurs game and meeting with the statisticians. And then another thing we have is we're going to be having an actuary from USAA come out and explain to us how they do life insurance and use statistics in that medium.
Oh, that's going to be incredible. I'm going to have to tag along on some of those to help chaperone, right? All right, well, let's meet the team. Now, this is not the whole team. These are some representatives of the team. And I promise these two knew that they were supposed to stay. They didn't just stay behind. They are also a part of the Strattlers team. Just another great thing that happens here in Rattler Nation. Our kids are involved in so many things. So why don't you take a moment to introduce yourself, tell us what grade you're in. And we know you're with the Strattlers, but tell us what other things you do here at San Marcos High School.
I'm Andres Perez. I'm a senior here at San Marcos High. I'm main data entry for the Strattlers. What you do for that is I have people on either side of me, and they're telling me the numbers I need to put in and what plays are going on. I'm not really a part of anything else at this high school.
Okay, but you're doing really well with this one, so that's great. Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Robert. I am the offensive spotter for the Strattlers. I track all the offensive plays, passes, rushes, things like that for both sides, obviously. Statistics is my main program right now. I'm always looking to join different things. In JSA also, though.
Okay.
Debate club, two passions of mine.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's me.
I'm Maddie again.
Still Maddie.
I'm still Maddie. I'm still a senior at this high school. I'm still in Diamond Line, and I'm a defensive spotter, but I'm also part of JSA, HOSA, Pathways, a couple of other things I can't name. Oh, NHS, a couple of other things I forget right now, but yeah.
I'm still Sophia, and I'm a senior, and I'm offensive spotter for the Strattlers. I'm captain of Diamond Line. I've been in the choir program all 4 years of high school. I'm historian of JSA. I'm a member of NHS. I think that's about it.
All right. Well, let me ask each of you, and we'll start here and work our way back down the way we came. What has been your favorite part of the program so far? Start with you.
Oh.
Go ahead, Sophia.
I've been on Diamond Line for 4 years, and I've gone to so many football games, and I never, ever knew what was going on, like literally ever. And then I went to one Strattlers event where we went to Laredo, and it made complete sense. And so now I'll be at home, my dad's watching football, and I'm like, you know what? He's on the keeper at the 37. I know exactly what's going on, and so that has been really great.
We're going to have an influx of fathers encouraging their daughters to join AP Statistics so they can watch football with them at home. That's a great byproduct. I'm fine with that.
My favorite part has been Coach Stoughton, because she's awesome, and she always she has a connection to us because she was at San Marcos High School, and so she will tell us about her high school experience because she was really involved, and a lot of people in this program are really involved in a lot of other things, and so it's really nice that there's that person to talk to that's been through the same things as you, but is ahead of you, So I like it.
Awesome. What about you? Favorite part of the program so far?
I would say growing up, football has been a major part of my life. Always watched football, watched every game since, 2005. Right, I was born 2004. So, yeah. So going to these Statler games, I've been doing this my whole life almost, tracking who has the ball and that stuff. So, being able to do this in person as part of an organization, that's massive for me. That's almost a dream come true. Maybe even a future job for me, honestly.
Awesome.
For me, I honestly signed up for this not thinking that I would get in. And then once I got in, I really fell in love with it. And I'm just ready every week waiting for Friday to come to be up there in the press box or whatever game we're going to and track the data.
All right, now, Coach Stoughton, you talked about some partnerships you're bringing them into Spurs games and things like that. What are some of the other career paths that these experiences can really help these kids perhaps pursue after they graduate?
Well, the ones that I'm really focusing on right now, again, were the big three, were the sports statistics, the marketing, and the insurance, because those are three the careers that are in high demand, and it's kind of nice to see things on the other end. and be able to see what happens behind the scenes. Why are ads done the way they are? Why is it on your Facebook that your feed is mysteriously what you just had a phone call about, or what you've liked, or what you've clicked on? And then life insurance, you know, we're all affected by insurance, whether it be life, auto, and being able to see how those people decide what your rates are, what your risks are, et cetera, and what demographic you are. So I thought it would be nice for them to get that perspective. And then the sports obviously being a big thing for me, I thought that would be neat. We're going to actually we're going to do it for basketball, we're going to do it for soccer, we're going to do it for baseball, maybe softball, because I'm a little selfish. But they're learning so much, and I think that connection between academics and athletics is one of the biggest joys for me to be able to see that.
Well, we see at the professional and the collegiate level, and Coach Walsh, you could talk about the high school level, the analytics becoming a bigger piece of sports than it's ever been before, right? So, Coach, can you speak to, you know, there's a bright future here for the analytics, am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a whole, in the football world, there's a book, and it sells at the minimum for $3,000 a book. And it's just what the numbers they crunch. My son actually did it at Texas 2 years ago, and it's literally, you follow this chart, it's 4th and 2 on the 35 in the third quarter, and it just tells you what to do because of the analytics that were put together. It's become a big part. Now, there's a bunch of old school guys like me that don't believe any of that. We just go on our gut. But it is, it's a huge thing in the sporting world, more than ever the last 5 years.
Right. So let me ask you, Robert, correct? Yes. Let me ask you, talk to us about some of the prep work. So I think we can picture the Friday night game. You're in the press box. You're doing the analysis of the game live. But there's work that has to be done Monday through Thursday to get ready, or perhaps work after the game to crunch what you did. So talk to us a little about the not Friday night part of what you guys do.
So I would say looking through the week, you would look at all the players, obviously. Memorize their number, that's important. Getting to know all the players, honestly, on a more personal level, that really does help out. Being able to immediately identify players as a play happens, that does save you a lot of time. Mentally, it is a lot of preparation. It's very fast. I mean, it's instant. Play happens, you have to write it down immediately. There's no downtime for it. Yeah, also huddle. We go on huddle, and we can look back on plays.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So for those not familiar, Huddle is a program, and Coach Greg wrong, but it's a video package kind of program for our highlight reels and things like that. So that's cool that you're connected into that to be able to see those things. I'll swing it back over here to you. What do you think what has surprised you the most? Besides getting in, because you said that was your first big surprise, but now you're in. What surprised you the most? What you didn't quite realize before you got into this?
I don't know. I came from a different school, way smaller than this, and it really surprised me how many people are really involved in school activities. There's a great school spirit here, and I really like that. It's just something I hadn't been a part of before.
That's awesome. Well, we're excited to see where this goes. I'm so glad it's been brought back. I like to hear that it's going to be across other sports, and we're going to continue to find other ways to utilize you guys. So get ready. You're going to be used quite often. You're going to have a lot of opportunities to crunch some numbers for the school and for the district. So before we let you go, so you guys get to do it again. We're going to always let the kids give their shout-outs. So live on air here, who's somebody back home you want to send a shout-out to? We'll start with whoever's ready.
I want to shout out Coach Stoughton because she makes math so fun. Like, so fun. We are always laughing so much in her class. Like, earlier this week, we did a little lab with Starburst, and it's always fun when you get to eat your data. And she just is one of the funniest people I know. She makes math so fun, and I appreciate you very much.
Awesome.
I don't know. I'll shout out the football players for letting us stat them. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice. Shout out the football players definitely for providing us stats to track. Always awesome watching them. All my teachers, friends. I'm going to plug myself. Today's my birthday. So
there we go.
Thank you. Had to get that out the way. And my grandparents, they've been a big support to me. So
awesome.
I'd actually like to shout out the football coaches. You guys have treated us really well in terms of like getting us food after games and letting us be there up in the press box.
Well, it really is a part of that, just that community. Rattler Nation it's not a slogan, it's not a marketing tool, it's a reality. Rattler Nation is a real thing. That's what we celebrate here on Rattler Up, and so we're just excited that you guys are a part of that. So thank you, Strattlers, for joining us here on Rattler Up today, and good luck to you on your work the rest of this year. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, well, stats are going to be something Coach Walsh is looking over all this week in preparation for Game 4 of the district schedule, and we look ahead to those final 2 games of the regular season now, as the Rattlers will be hosting New Braunfels this Friday night and heading to East Central next Friday. So, Coach, there's 2 games remaining. We find ourselves 1 game behind this week's opponent, New Braunfels, and 1 game up on next week's opponent, East Central. So before we look into those specifics, Coach, how detailed of a conversation, we talked a little bit about this last time, but now that we're in the thick of it, how detailed do you get into it with the players to let them know the game's back, the game's ahead, what they need, and just trying to keep it on, just win Friday night and worry about that?
Yeah, so it's been strange this year. I've never been in a 6-team district, and just the quickness of the race. So I've been more given the big picture than now. Once we get to Monday, like today, it's all about New Braunfels. Right. But Saturday, we have a big team meeting every Saturday morning at 9:30. And I do spell it out for them, the big picture of what needs to take place. And because you won the Schertz-Clements game, you're in the driver's seat. But with New Braunfels being so close, the kids know each other there, and we're making that number 1 right now. And they're a good football team. They've been well coached since I've been here. I've always thought the last 2 years, their freshman teams have been and we were in a district with Lake Travis and Westlake. Their freshman teams are as good or better than those freshmen. So they have a really good squad right now. Run a good program over there, and but they've been that way. In the last 2 years, we've been in a 1-possession game at the very end with a chance to win. So hopefully we're sitting there again and we pull it out.
All right, so third year in a row seeing these guys. We're going to have them at home. Now, they followed a similar path to us. They lost to Steele as we did. They got their victory over Clemens as we did. Now, they have not yet played Judson, and they do own a victory over East Central. But otherwise, we're pretty evenly matched going into Friday night. So specifically, what are some of the big keys that you look at for Friday night against the Unicorns? Yeah,
we just got to be sound. You know, the penalty count, New Braunfels is a team that's not going to make many mistakes. So we have to minimize. I thought against the Clemens game, the reason we were in it the whole night is we weren't going backwards. We're an offense that's got to be in front of the chains. And when we're in front of the chains, the Strattlers are putting good stats up for us because we're moving the ball at will. And been playing good defense. We got a lot of guys back. So keeping everybody healthy and just being disciplined.
All right, so we talked about turnovers being a key, right? So just holding on to the ball, not making opportunity. New Braunfels is going to earn plenty of their own opportunities.
Yes,
we can't give them any more, Greg.
No.
All right, well, then we know that is for this week, this Friday night against New Braunfels here at San Marcos Toyota Rattler Stadium. Now, after that, we take care of the Unicorns and we wrap up the regular season with a trip to San Antonio and a date with the East Central Hornets. Now, we talked before about this being a tough place to play on the road.
Right.
And so there's a number of mental pieces that you kind of picture going to the nation, your family.
But they started without 16. Without 6 starters, finished without 12 starters.
Goodness.
And still beat those Longhorns.
All right. So happy days in the Walsh family watching those Oklahoma State
Absolutely.
Cowboys. Now, the Dallas Cowboys this week host the Bears, a game they should win easily. So, of course, this one's going to be tight and make us nervous. Am I right, Coach?
Nah, this Dak's back. Man.
Dak's back. We're going to handle the Bears.
He got the rust off. We're going to be in good shape.
We're good to go. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's Rattler Up. Obviously, we talk about catch the VYPE Rattler Up magazine. It's going to be in your email inboxes this week, parents, and hard copies at all campuses across SM.